The newest update to Fallout 76 has brought with it some amazing new additions, including the ability to be able to fish in the Wasteland, and of course all the challenges that come with that. And I'm not just talking about the new local legends, I'm going to be talking about those slippery little axolotls that everyone wants to get their hands on. A lot of people are confused about how to actually catch them, so today I'm breaking down exactly how to catch this month's featured axolotl, the Banded Axolotl. And before I say anything, it's a lot easier than you're going to think. I promise you, you just have to set up in one little method. It should take about like 5 minutes, and then you're good to go grinding for the axolotl. So before we get into the nitty gritty, if you don't know why axolotls are so important, here's why. Bethesda is rolling out a new axolotl every month, each with its own unique look, region, and catch requirements. For June, we've got the Banded Axolotl. Check the description for a full list from the legendary Nuka Knight. Thank you so much for procuring all of this information and data mining basically everything for us. But each month's axolotl can be found in 2 specific regions. This month, we'll need to fish in the Toxic Valley region and the Mire. Any fishable body of water in those zones will do, but location alone won't guarantee success. There are a couple of things that you have to do before you are able to catch this thing, and also just to increase your odds from 0 to at least a little bit higher. So Nuka Knight did make a graph, and I made a little Excel sheet that I'm going to be posting up on the screen in a second that you should see your percent chance to catch them and what you could do to actually increase them. Now let's move into the stats and the percent chance to catch one of these bad boys. Again, shout out to Nuka Knight for getting all of this information as usual, and go ahead and check the description for a link to their website if you want to see how to catch basically every single fish in the game. So as we could see, there are 2 things that greatly affect your chances to catch an axolotl, and basically all fish. Weather being the first, you'll have the greatest chance to catch if you're in rain, and then obviously the nuke effect also does play a little bit too, so if you're in a nuke zone or if you have a nuke weather station, but again, we will get into that a little bit later. And then secondly is going to be the bait that you use. Improved, common, you can't catch the axolotl basically at all, so I wouldn't use common bait. If you do catch one with common bait, congratulations, you just used up all of your family's luck for the next 10 generations. However, improved bait, you do have a little bit of a better chance. Just again, make sure you pair it with the correct weather. And then obviously super and rain, that's going to give you the best chance. So as you could see here on the list, it's really not too terrible, but the highest chance that you're going to have is a 33% chance, and that's going to be in the rain and also with the super bait. Or you could be in the rain with the improved bait and get a 5% chance. You could be in a nuke zone with the super and have a 21% chance, or you could be in a nuke zone with the improved for a 6% chance. I know a lot of people are doing that, but obviously it is a little bit better by 11% to do it with the rain effect going and the super bait. I personally did it with the rain and improved my first time, and then I've caught a couple more with the rain and super. So just keep that in mind. You can use either of these baits, and you can use either of the weather effects, the rain or the nuke. I do not suggest you go after this with no weather, just because your chances are only 13% if you're using super bait, 3% if you're using improved, or 0% if you're using common. So be prepared to use a lot of your improved bait or a shit ton of your super bait if you are unlucky, like most people. Alright, so like I said, I've caught the axolotl a few times already so far, so here's the setup that I used. First off, let's go over the reel. The reel mods are 100% mandatory. If you are using the Mark 1, you are not going to catch it, I could promise you that. Mark 2 is basically a necessity, and I also would suggest you get the attractive hook. The Mark 2 reel can be achieved from completing I believe the second quest of the Fisher Challenge. On the challenge section, just go there and do whatever it says. I believe you have to catch 1 fish in the forest that's specific, and then another one in like the ash heap or savage divide that's specific. A leatherback and a piranha, I know it's those 2, and then you also have to catch like 5 sawgills or something, and then boom, there's the Mark II reel. And then also the attractive hook that could be gotten from the daily quest that you get from the fish captain. So again, You really can't do this with a Bones Bear rod. You need to have some of these. The Mark Reel 2 will just really help you out, and then obviously the Attractive Hook also, I think, helps you out with the either time to hook or something like that. But both of them are pretty mandatory. I would not suggest doing it with the Mark II reel. I've tried it with just the Mark II reel and not the Attractive Hook, and I've had it slip out of my fingers about 15 times. So if you can really go after the Attractive Hook, I'm sure you can catch it with just the Mark II reel, but you're going to have to be a better fisherman than I am. Up next, where to fish. Now, this is a pretty big thing. You can fish anywhere in the Mire or in the Toxic Valley region, like I said earlier, but personally, if you want to set up a camp, which is what you're going to have to do, I suggest you head to the Highland Marsh in the Mire, go into the swamp near this large tree, and place your camp right here. Now, this I say that next to this large tree because this is one of the few areas in the Highland Marsh that you could actually fish at without a problem. So go right over here, watch out for Milurks. You're going to want to place down a few things. I would suggest placing down a Tinker's Workbench first so you can make sure that you have the correct mods on your reel, and then you're going to want to be able to trigger the rain. The most important part of this setup is manipulating the weather. Now, to get rainy conditions, like I mentioned earlier, or nuke conditions, depend what method you want to go to and which one you have readily available, you're going to need to place down a weather machine. What the weather machines were added, I believe, with the Atlantic City update, or maybe a little bit before, maybe just the first part with the expeditions or something like that, but they could be gotten from Seasons, or they could be gotten from the Atomic Shop. So if you don't know what one of these things are, you place it down at your camp, and then whatever one you place down, it changes the weather of your camp. So if you place your camp right here, you're able to automatically have the weather machine going, causing rain or causing a nuke circle going, or a rad storm or something like that. So the ones that could actually produce rain are going to be the Snowman machine, which is the one that I'm using, the Snow Aura, or the Thunderstorm machine. If you don't have any of these, try teaming up with someone who does. I suggest after this video goes live, depending on how it does and depending on how many people actually use this strategy, to check out the camps that are in the Mire or the Toxic Valley region, just to see if people are also doing this method, just in a different spot. So I would suggest going from camp to camp. If you are on Xbox and if you see my camp, obviously it's going to be in this region because I'm going to keep it up every single month to help people get the axolotls that don't have the weather machines. So, weather machine, most important, you need to make sure it is raining. If not, you're screwing yourself on the percent chances. Next up, you're going to want to use, like I said, the super bait. It has the best stats, although for the first while of me doing this, I had zero luck with it. The fish kept breaking off. I switched to the improved bait and caught it almost immediately. If you go this route and you want to use the improved bait, I suggest you farm for 50 to 75 to 100 pieces of improved bait. I will have an improved bait video coming soon, but you can find it in fridges, and then you also can trade people for it and also get it from events and caravans. So it's really easily to farm, significantly easier than the super bait. So I obviously suggest you stock up on 100 or so of those, and you 100% will get an axolotl with at least 50, but you don't know if it's going to break away, and again, I don't know how good you are at this little stupid fishing minigame. And then finally, the most crucial part besides the reel is going to be the fish bits. Fish bits dramatically reduces your time to hook, and it will help you. The axolotl moves around way more than any other fish, at least in my opinion, and if you're too slow, you will screw up your chances. It's either going to be a 6%, a 21% chance, 5%, or a 33% chance you get this thing on your hook. You do not want to mess up that chance. So again, just to recap, Mark II reel, attractive hook, those are the mods you need for your reel. If you did it with anything else, let me know in the comments. You're going to use you're going to need rain weather or nuke weather. I use the Snowman machine just to get that 33% chance with the super bait, but I ended up getting it with the improved bait and the rain, so only 5%. It's not as hard as you would think. Next up, like I said, you're going to want the improved or the super bait. then fish bits, and then finally, I highly suggest you get a camp in this little location and you farm right here at this tree. I have been able to get 3 axolotls so far for the player title and everything like that. So finally, after all of this is set up and all of this is done, make sure it's snowing or make sure it's raining, make sure the Nuka event is going on there, or excuse me, the Nuka weather event, and then cast your line, pray to the RNG gods, and then you're golden. That's really it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to catch 1,000 fish. You don't have to do all of this. You don't have to sit there for hours. Really, just go to this spot, farm up some approved bait, cast it into the thing, or cast it into the water with the weather effect going, and then boom, that's it. That's all you have to do. There's no specific spot you have to go to. There's none of this bullshit you have to do. Simply just set your camp up like this, these 3 things, and then you're good to go. You're going to need a generator, you're going to need a weather machine, and you're going to need a tinkerer's workbench just to apply mods to your reel. Those are the 3 things that you need to catch the axolotl. If you're doing it any other way, you're putting in way too much effort, and you just don't need to. So obviously, how difficult is it really to catch? Honestly, I got super lucky. I caught my first one within 6 minutes with improved bait. I know that's not the luckiest in the entire world, but I felt pretty damn lucky when I ended up getting this thing. It's only a 5% chance, and again, I got it with my first cast of improved bait at this little camp. So I highly suggest everyone go here, or if you're on Xbox and if you see my camp there on the server, please feel free to join if you don't have a weather machine. Now, I'm telling you, this setup does work. You'll still need good timing and fast reflexes. It's not all about setup. Again, this thing is super hyper agile. Axolotls are so slippery when it comes to actually reeling them in this damn game. I think they do move around the most compared to any other fishes. Even the new local legends and everything like that, I feel like the axolotls have a smaller percent chance to actually spawn in and then actually are harder to reel in. But I don't know, that could just be me. Maybe I was nervous or something like that, or maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention and it was giving me too hard of a time. But that's the main issue with them. They are super, super, super agile and they move around a lot. So it's not necessarily about getting one to spawn, because you probably will have a couple bite onto your line. It's about being ready when it does spawn. You're going to have to be able to actually fish in this game. So I suggest, if you're still really bad at fishing, go out, fish, catch like 25, 50 fish, and then go and do this. You don't want to go into this thing raw, because I promise you, the reel and the setup will not be enough to be able to drag this thing in. You actually have to know how to fish in this game. But unfortunately for the future, we're going to have to use weather machines in order to farm out our fish, so you better get used to it. If you don't have any, I suggest you go to the Atomic Shop and try to buy one of every single weather, or if you can get one through the seasons or something like that, but you're gonna want this for the future. So if you're one of those players who don't care about camp stuff and you just missed all of the weather machines because you wanted to buy your power armor skins or something like that, then I've got some bad news to you. You're really gonna struggle with the new fishing update, as unfortunate as that is. I wish Bethesda maybe tied in that they were gonna have a much more bigger use for these than aesthetic purposes, but yeah, make sure you go out there and get a weather machine. Excuse me. That's basically going to be the only thing that carries you through this. It's not going to be enough for the bait unless you want to go out there and drop nukes on certain sections of the map in the Toxic Valley region or the Mire. That's kind of the only 2 ways to do this. Either have a weather station, have a friend that has a weather station, or go ahead and drop a nuke from one of the missile silos across the map, and then hope you could get one before the server shuts down. That's really all you could do. Well, there we have it, ladies and gents of the Wasteland. We've made it to the end of another Fallout 76 video. This is by far the easiest and most low-effort way to catch this month's Axolotl. I saw a lot of people talking about it online, but I feel like no one's made a solid one-on-one guide yet for everyone to be able to catch this thing. It's not as hard as people say, and it's not as difficult. A lot of people are saying, I spent 55 hours in Fallout and I haven't caught the Axolotl, and I haven't caught a local legend, and I haven't, but it's not that difficult, I promise. The biggest thing that you need to know is, 1, get the weather stations, get your reels up. For this Axolotl, you'll need at least a Mark II reel, because you can't progress from the Mark II reel if you haven't caught an Axolotl, so this is going to be the easiest way, I promise you. You're going to need the Mark II reel, the attractive hook, the weather station, a generator to power up your weather station. You're going to want your camp to be in the Highland Marsh, or at least this is the easiest place that I could find to be able to set one up without any interference. and then just go from there. It's just RNG. Just throw out one super bait from the season reward. If you don't catch anything, or if you don't catch the axolotl with one, throw out an approved bait and keep cycling through it. At least that's what I did, and that seemed to work. I don't know if that's really a placebo effect or if that's just me being an idiot, but that's how I caught my axolotl. I hope this method is helpful. Please let me know in the comments if anyone has a better method. I'm sure other people would enjoy to hear it. Personally, again, this is the lowest effort. You don't have to build anything crazy. You need a weather station. If you don't have a weather station, run around the Mire or the Toxic Valley region for people that are doing this same exact method right now, or as soon as this video goes up. And if you see it, if you're on Xbox, shoot me over a message. Try and join my world. I will have my camp up basically every month with the easiest way to catch the axolotl. So if you stumble across my camp out there in the Wasteland, go ahead, hop in and try and catch the axolotl. Just remember, it really comes down to you being able to actually reel it in. It's a hard fucking fish to catch, so the best of luck to everyone out there. Again, I got extremely lucky. You may not be as lucky, unfortunately, but I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments if you're able to catch it because of this. And as always, I appreciate you motherfuckers for watching this motherfucking video, and I will see you in the Wasteland. Good luck with all of your future fishing.